First, let me say thank you for being a member of my inner circle. There are a bunch of fascinating things going on. One of them is that it turns out that President Obama, Secretary Clinton, President Biden all had secret, fake email accounts. The New York Post reported that Biden used Robin Ware, Robert L. Peters, and J.R.B. Ware on emails that mixed official and family business. Found out that in his Robert Peters account, John Flynn copied Hunter Biden on 10 emails that contained Joe Biden's daily schedule. FBI reports made public in September 2016 revealed that Obama used a pseudonym in email correspondence with Secretary of State Clinton. I should also point out to you that I've begun to lay out a series of articles at the American Spectator. The first one, they're entitled American Despotism, and they try to give you the historic framework within which we got to the situation we are today in terms of a constitutional crisis and the replacement of the rule of law with the rule of power and the use of government to coerce us instead of serve us. So I think you'll find them very educational. And you can find the articles on American despotism at spectator.org. I might point out, by the way, that Harvard, which has the largest amount of money in its endowment of any university in the world, about $40 billion, has been named the worst school for free speech, scoring 0 out of 100, according to the Freedom for Individual Rights and Expression's annual college free speech report. Makes you wonder, by the way, why places that are violating the very core of the First Amendment's free speech get a tax-deductible status. Turned out that the best schools for free speech were Michigan Technological University, Auburn University, the University of New Hampshire, Oregon State University, and Florida State University. By the way, the Biden administration, in a totally nutty moment, has canceled leases covering 430,000 acres and has banned oil and gas production on another 2.8 million acres, all of these, by the way, in Alaska. Now, this is at a point, by the way, where you're about to see a real spike in gasoline and oil prices. And what you have is an administration which is, in fact, working its way through crippling the oil and gas industry at the very time that the oil and gas industry is, in fact, raising prices, making it more expensive for Americans, and weakening our economy. It's remarkably out of touch with reality. Finally, I just want to remind you that we now have evidence that there have been over 100 incidents that involve Chinese nationals from communist China trying to get on American military bases. By the way, it's really funny. One of the ways they try to do that is they go and ask whether or not there's a Burger King nearby, because a lot of these bases actually have Burger Kings on the base. So it's kind of interesting. Also, I might point out that we currently are not able to find 4.5 million people, that's 4.5 million people, who aren't working today who could be, and they are not counted in the unemployment rate calculation. If you actually adjusted the 3.8% unemployment rate to take into account these missing workers, you have an unemployment rate above 6%. I should also point out that Speaker Kevin McCarthy has released a whole series of commitments that the Republicans in the House have kept, and I recommend that you go to Speaker McCarthy's website. It's really useful, and I think it gives you a sense of how methodically they're trying to keep their word and do the things they need to do. Again, I think it's important for us to keep talking with each other. In the near future, we'll chat about the fact that Nancy Pelosi is once again running for Congress. I actually don't understand why she's doing this, because they're going to remain in the minority. She just doesn't have much to do, but apparently she really likes it. I also want to point out that we may face a real jump in the cost of trucking because the Environmental Protection Agency really wants to set up a whole new set of standards that truckers say are, in fact, going to be just crushing in terms of the cost, and particularly for smaller truck companies, which may well go out of business. So thank you for being a member of my inner circle. If you have friends who would like to be part of it, please ask them to join us by going to newtsinnercircle.com. And you might also check, I now do almost every day some reports on YouTube that are videos, and I think you might find them very interesting. And you can find all of my YouTube videos on our Gingrich 360 YouTube channel. My new book, March to the Majority, is now a bestseller and is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and retailers everywhere. Get it today by clicking on the link in the description below.